Pisces, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-October 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes into energy and see what's happening for the lovely Pisces collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do you got for us? What do you have for Pisces gang in mid-October? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Pisces in mid-October. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick for my good friends, hopefully. Sometimes the deck doesn't want to cooperate, but today it does. Okay, lots of people showing up in the energy, my good friends. I haven't seen this card in quite a while. It can be complex. It does look simple on its surface, right? But most of these cards have a lot of layers attached to it, but there's a lot of people for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the October subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk about this card. So if you look here at the image, you can see that we have this dude, we have this lady. There's pictures, there's even silhouettes of people in the background. It's just like people, 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 people. So for some Pisces, maybe this is representing a group dynamic. So whether it's work and career, where you're dealing with a lot of people, whether it's your social circle, whether it's your family, it could be anything. There's just like a lot of other people's energies. Now, especially since you are a water sign, you tend to be a lot more energetically sensitive than most other signs. Just keep yourself energetically protected in this time, because there could be certain things you're feeling or experiencing that might not technically be your energy. I always think that when I see a lot of people, I just protect your energy in one way or another. Now, if we aren't talking about a group dynamic, to me, this represents complexity in general. So for some Pisces, maybe you're dealing with a very complex situation that on the surface, it seems very simple, seems like a no-brainer. But when you start digging into the details, it's like, oh, there's layers here. There's a lot going on. So whether it's complex feelings, complex situations, this card has a lot to it. There's like a lot of meat on the bone, right? So I feel like I could talk about it for another 10 minutes. But again, it could just be other people's energies. I don't want to say affecting yours, but in yours for sure. We're going to put them over there. They could keep doing whatever they're doing. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Let's shuffle it up one time here for Pisces gang. My guide, spirit team, what do we got in mid-October? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. We were on a hot streak, my friends. The reading was titled The Massive Win. So great energy moving your way at the very least. For at least a couple of weeks. So I always say wins, victories, they come in all different shapes and sizes, whether it's monetary, personal relationships, maybe just had some really good days where you felt awesome. I hope you did get those things. But if not, that energy could still bleed over for a couple of weeks. So it was a nice couple week block of really good stuff. So we're going to hope to keep that going. But as you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we can be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? So let's see what we have this week for Pisces in mid-October. What's going on for my good friends? God, spirit team, thank you. Okay. 5 of Pentacles, huh? So we're doing a little switch up here. It's all good. So yeah, 5 of Pentacles. It doesn't tank the reading, but it definitely doesn't fit the vibe with what I've been seeing for the past couple weeks. Let's get a couple more. What do we got here for Pisces? 2 of Swords, okay. We will get one more. Sometimes where you're just feeling a little down and you can't quite put your finger on it, watch out for that for the coming days and weeks, where it's like, I shouldn't feel like, I feel off. Like that's kind of the energy I'm picking up. Let's get one more. We don't want to get too far in the weeds. Ace of Swords. Okay. Better. Especially if you could keep your mindset, strength of mind on point, you'll be all right. That's how this energy feels to me with the Ace of Swords. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, I always like to look at the elements. That informs us a lot about how the energy is moving, how quick it's moving, and the areas of life it could be affecting. And we have a lot of swords here. Now, people get a little nervous when they see swords. I think it's like, oh, damage, damage. And every card, even like the cups and the pentacles, have ups and downs. But with the swords, we're looking at the logical mind, how you process information, how you take in information. It's very strategic, very planned out. It's an intelligent type of energy, especially with this one here on the back end. So again, mindset, mind state, super important in this time. It's also a lot of communication going on, especially with these two cards. So we do want to dig into them much deeper. And then we have Earth right here in the front. That's a very good element for a Pisces reading because that could ground us down, right? Now, Earth represents the earthly matters. So we talk about money, we talk about business, how we earn a living, the place we live, the people around us. Think of the world we exist in. That's what I think of with Earth. But at the same time, this energy could get very bogged down. So it's like we have extremes. We have the energy that could be very bogged down. Then we have this flaky, flighty energy as well. So we're going to have to do some decoding here, Pisces. But let's go through. I really start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with the Five of Pentacles. Now, as I already mentioned, all is not lost. It is not the nicest looking imagery, of course. And we see those two people, they're out there. It's wintertime. They're cold. They're bundled up. Now, we're going to split this in a couple different ways. If it's talking about business, finance, investment, stuff like that, this could be spirit saying, all right, be cautious, Pisces. Maybe some of you are having some difficulties with work. But that doesn't just have to be the case. There's an isolation type of energy when we see this card. Sometimes it could be people feeling like they've been abandoned, or people feeling like they've been thrown out in the cold, or they're on the outside looking in. This card can show up when you are missing somebody, longing for somebody, or just feeling off, right? This energy just feels a little down in the dumps. That's why I said that in the beginning. Like you might just have a couple days where it's like, I don't feel like my normal self, and that's okay from time to time. The good thing, because remember, every card, even the challenges, even the problems, do have a bright side to them. This card is very temporary. It is a five. Fives represent a shift. So if it is a problem, temporary. If it's a roadblock, temporary, especially with what we have coming up. So again, this doesn't define your life completely moving forward. Now, moving to the middle, and we'll look at that again. We still have to clarify. It could change for all we know. But moving to the middle, we have the Two of Swords. Now, this card brings more questions than answers normally. And we see this lady. She's on the beach. It's nighttime. The moon is shining bright in the sky. She's got the swords crossed. She is blindfolded. She is hoodwinked. So, of course, in the classic sense, this could represent indecision. This could represent confusion. This could represent the unknown, not knowing what to do or which way to go. But the big blanket term I like to put on this card is just the unknown, the surprising, the unexpected. Didn't see that one coming. So again, sure, could there be certain things you're a little indecisive about? Maybe. Could there be certain things you're confused about? Possibly. But this easily could just signal that something's coming your way that's not on your radar right now. That's okay. Now, the good thing about this Two of Swords, again, similar to the five, it's not a permanent energy. It is swords. It does move quickly. So this is an energy. It comes in quick. It goes quick. It's always moving, just like the wind, right? Now, moving to the back end, I really like this because I feel like it grounds things down. So when we start with the Five of Pentacles, Two of Swords, we're like, yikes. But we have a very powerful, empowering card right here on the back. We got the Ace of Swords, the Sword of Truth. Love it. Now, I love all aces. They all represent offers, opportunities, and communication. So saying it like it is, and we'll get into that a little further as well. But this card ties heavily into your mindset, your mind state, how you view things. Is the world against me, or is everything working out in my favor even if I don't realize it? Maybe these are some questions you should consider when things pop up. It's a strong mind, and it's very intelligent, it's very smart, and it knows the truth of things. That's what I like about this card. Now, as far as the communication goes, it is straightforward, blunt, and to the point, where this energy is not pulling any punches. It could be very serious, very stern. And the downside of the Sword of Truth, the Ace of Swords, could represent someone being cold, somebody being downright mean or angry. So we do want to look at it further. But to me, it's like, all right, we have this choppy energy up front, but you could pull yourself out of it with a perspective switch, possibly. So I think there's a lot here. But I really like that we have the Sword of Truth in this spread because I think it ties things in together pretty nice. Now, I want to dive deeper on all of it, Pisces. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for Pisces, gang, please. What do we got going on for our good friends? And yeah, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Five of Pentacles. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Pisces, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Five of Pentacles, please. What is happening? Thank you. Eight of Swords in reverse. It's a process. There's definitely something showing up where it's like, listen, it's a process. Like Rome wasn't built in a day. I know that's very cliche. Um, I'm not sounding the alarm yet. That's what I will say, Pisces. Now, the Eight of Swords in reverse underneath the Five of Pentacles kind of feels like a little bit of an inconvenience. So I think it's very important in this time not to let something small turn into something bigger. That's how it feels to me. It's like, no, yeah, this is an inconvenience. It could be much worse. But if you allow it, this thing can snowball. So keep in mind, there could be certain things that pop up or certain problems that could go from small to big, depending on how you react to it or how you handle it. I don't know why it's coming through that way. Now, the Eight of Swords is usually very nervous, on edge, overthinking, feeling trapped. So when I see it in reverse underneath the Five of Pentacles, if you've been going through a difficult time, this could be Spirit saying, all right, it's getting better, slowly but surely. As I already mentioned, there's something here where it's like, it's a process. Like it's something where like, don't rush it. Things will get better. Things will improve. Just don't rush it. So again, a few different messages there. Take it for what it's worth. So we have the process. We have something that feels like an inconvenience that could turn into something bigger depending on how someone handles it. That's just how it feels to me. So we have a little problematic energy up front. It's all good. I don't think it defines the whole reading. Let's keep moving. Let's see what else shows up because I really want to get to this mystery and then this revealing that we have here. So why is the Two of Swords here for Pisces? What do we got? What do we got here for my good friends? Thank you. Three of Wands. Okay, that's good. That's good. Like a process paying off, a weight paying off, where it's like, I'm so glad I did this. I'm so glad I chose the road I chose. This could absolutely be an unexpected payoff or a surprising payoff with something. And you might not have realized that you made the right move when you did. It's like one of those where looking back on something in retrospect, it's like, damn, I'm so glad I did that. Or I'm so glad I did what I did. Because to me, it just feels like something paying off in a very big way. And it's not like you were looking for it. That's like the vibe I'm picking up here. So with the Three of Wands, it's a card of manifesting. It's a card that seems to be waiting. If there is, this is a separate thing. Aside from the manifesting and the payoff and all that stuff, let's put that to the side for now. With the Two of Swords and the Three of Wands, if there is something you're dealing with that is complex and difficult to deal with, there is no rush. This is another thing that's showing up here. It's like if you're confused, if you don't have all the facts, or if there's something where you don't know how to handle it, there's no rush, especially like we saw here in the front. Maybe some of you are going through a process right now, whatever that process might be, and that's okay. But I think for some of you, a reaction or a move you made, it's like, oh, you're going to be very happy you responded the way you did because this is absolutely a surprising payoff. It doesn't feel like it's something you did right now. It feels like something that's already done, but you reap the rewards of it. So I like it. I really like it. Let's keep moving. Let's see what the Ace of Swords has. So that's already big improvement from what we had in the front. But patience is key with something. I don't know why. So why is the Ace of Swords here? Then we'll do our recap before the shadow. So why is the Sword of Truth in the mix? Why is the Sword of Truth here? Thank you. Okay. Forcing anything is a no-no. Forcing anything is a no-no. That's a way to get some big blowback potentially. So watch out for that. So we do have the Emperor with the Ace of Swords. This is like an iron fist type of energy. So that was my first message. If there's anything where you feel like you're having to drag yourself to do it, maybe you shouldn't, right? Like maybe there's a reason you feel like you don't want to do something. But another thing I'm picking up here with the Ace of Swords Emperor, this is like a very no nonsense type of energy. So for some Pisces, we are known to be a little bit softer in our approaches with things a lot of times. For some of you, you might be reaching a point where it's like, screw it. I'm not messing around. I'm not playing games. I'm not dealing with this. I'm not putting up with this. It's like game over type of energy. So there could be something that you were dealing with that you're deciding, like, you know what, maybe I don't want to deal with it anymore. At least in the form it was in. That's the vibe it's given me. Remember, the Emperor isn't a bad card. Okay, Aries energy, your zodiacal neighbor. He is entrepreneurial. He's like the king of kings, the big boss. He takes control. So when I see him under the Ace of Swords, either one, this is someone trying to force something that shouldn't be forced. That ties into the patience that we're seeing. Or again, this is someone that's like drawing a line in the sand, saying like, you know what, I'm not playing games anymore. Game over. This is it. So I don't know how that ties in, but overall, I'm happy with what we have in the middle. But the energy surrounding it, I don't want to say it's funky, but it could go sideways if you try to force something a little too hard. Let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow. Lots of stuff. So just like that card we saw in the front, a lot of information came through. But if you kindly look in the box, we have the Five of Pentacles, Eight of Swords. To me, this did feel more of like an inconvenience. So just don't let any issues or problems go from something small to big. It depends on how you play it, right? Or how you handle something. It's like, all right, we could let it go through its process, or if you force it, you're not going to get a good result. Um, Another thing I was picking up here with the Five of Pentacles, Eight of Swords is, again, a process, getting better slowly but surely. Moving to the center, we have the Two of Swords, Three of Wands. This is a surprising or unexpected payoff where it's like you're going to be very happy you responded in a way that you did, something you've already done. You're going to reap the rewards of it very soon. That's how it felt to me. So I really like this energy here in the middle. It's actually beautiful. But at the same time, if you are going through any difficulties or complex situations, Spirit's just saying, hey, there's no rush. Like, you could wait. You could let the energetic dust settle. Moving to the back end, we have the Ace of Swords, Emperor in the upright. So as I mentioned, don't force anything because you might catch a little pushback when we see this. But at the same time, it is also someone drawing a line in the sand, saying, like, I'm not messing around. I'm not playing games. If you're normally a softer type of individual, it might be a lot harder than you usually are, or you might be drawing a line in the sand. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for Pisces? And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They can be a good thing too. So let's get you one. What do we got for Pisces, please? And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this card out. What do we got for Pisces, gang? What do we got? The World. Okay. I don't see this card often in the shadows. I'm being very honest with you here. And I know within the reading itself, we did see an energy where it's like something you've already done. You could bear the fruits of it in this time or very shortly. That's kind of how the World represents to me, especially the shadow side, because it's like, all right, the energy of something that's already elapsed is affecting the current. Okay, so it's like actions that have already happened. That's kind of how life goes, right? Things that happen affect how things move going forward. But this feels a lot more prominent, and I really think a lot of you made the right move. I do. Now, the World can represent chapters closing, but new ones opening. It's a culmination of something. So maybe some Pisces are turning the page on a chapter in life, and that's okay. It's just part of the natural cycle of things. This is also a very karmic card as well, so keep that in mind. What you put forth, you do get back in return and all that good stuff. But some of you might just be going through an intense period of change and metamorphosis when this shows up in the shadows, even if you don't realize why. And just like we had that energy in the reading where it's like, in retrospect, you'll understand, that could be the case. There might be certain things you're going through now where in the future you'll look back and say, now I get it. That's how this feels. So Pisces, that's what I got for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the October subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation and book a personal reading with me, you could check out my digital calendar on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The October schedule is up there and it's filling up quick. So if you want to have a little chat, go over there and check it out. But for the October subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of the most stunning decks I've ever experienced, the Star Tarot. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments. Since last month, I asked everybody which zodiac sign they get along best with. This month, out of all the zodiac signs, which one do you clash with a little bit there? Drop it down in the comments. You'll be entered to win. And the winners will be announced in the community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.